Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone had a good trading day yesterday. It was quite a day for me yesterday. I did miss a really good trade, but sometimes it happens. But no trade for me yesterday, so hopefully we'll get something today. So, Speedy, how you doing, buddy? Armanas, how are you? So let's see how we get on today. Market is due open in around about just over a minute. We had some news earlier, which was around about here. A couple of spiky bars up, down, but nothing major. So I did look at that bar there. We had what looked like a channel up. It went from the lows of the day, incorporating that bar, and it looks like we've had a break. I like the way we touched there and there. Two pushes up to a new high. There was a lower high. I missed that one. I considered that one, but it was a bit low. And my concern was that there may be something like that. So I thought best thing to do is leave it alone. But market is due to open lead time. We've had this channel down there on the NQ, and we've had a break. So if we can get maybe a second entry short there, we'll have to keep an eye on that. So morning from California. That sounds warm. It's quite mild in the UK today, actually. Where are we now? Well, it's about 9 degrees centigrade, which is kind of mild for this time of year anyway. So how you doing, Nomad? Rodian, how are you? Jay, how you doing, bud? I took it, but scared back to, yeah. I looked at it, and I did an hour about it. But my concern was we had something bigger there. So, okay, market is officially open. So, this does look like we're coming down here. So, let's just have a little look. FSen, how you doing, buddy? There is a little bit of... Let's see if we can get maybe a lower high here. I'm just going to get an order ready, just in case
order
this
submitted.
does. We get a lower high. If we can get a lower high here... let's have a look. First entry, second. There may be a second entry short there. Let's have a look. Might have gone too high already. We'll see. So we got a leg and a leg. Maybe a second entry short, lower high here. Let's just get that out of the way a minute. If that comes down bearish, that's looking promising. We got a channel down. Yeah, that's looking promising. See if we can get a lower high here. That's looking good. Channel down. Clearly two legs up. Not as bearish as it could have been. Let's have a look. Now on the NQ, that's second entry short there. One leg up, two legs up. I'm not looking at this at the moment. I'm just looking at this to give me clarification. I'm more looking at legs rather than the official count. Warm today, 6 degrees, minus 6 degrees C. Wow. So right, that looks like one leg with a break and another leg. Let's see what happens here. See, this to me looks like it's probably going to come down. So we'll see if we can get a lower high. So maybe a leg down, maybe one leg, two legs. We'll see. Frozen in motion. How you doing, Kev? I think you need to reload your historic. Okay, let me get rid of that.
Order cancelled.
Yeah, this is coming down clearly. Leg and a leg. Okay, let's have a look. That's strange, isn't it? That's going up, that's coming down. Let's put that like that. Okay, yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it? Actually, this just looks like it's tagging this bottom with a possible push up. Okay, let's make sure I've deleted that. I did, yeah. Okay. Your accounts are the same. Okay, so I think I did reload it. Does it look okay? Is it with most of yours? I'm assuming it is. So there's a channel there. I would have said so. Perhaps that is. Let's do that. I did have that initially. In fact, you can see it's there. leg and a leg. So leg and a leg. Let's see what's going on. At the moment, I think really this looks like it's just ranging. I can't see anything bigger there really. Oh, there is a possibility. It doesn't touch too bad, so maybe it is. I just don't like this. And I've learned just to leave the bigger stuff and concentrate on the smaller stuff unless we do go up and we come back here somewhere. So let's have a look. Picture's very similar here. So I did watch the first one of those suits last night. Well, most of it. I fell asleep, actually. I know a couple of people mentioned it yesterday. So it starts off pretty good, actually. They hire that young guy. So, you know, when you get a feel for things, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, this is going to be quite good. Who've I missed? Adnan, how you doing, buddy? F-Sen, I've said hello to you. Chad, how you doing? Akitri, how you doing? Yeah, I think I've said hello to everyone. Levos. Levros trading, something like that. I'd like to see a good trend today because we had a lot on the range this week. Yeah, it would be nice. Just quickly, I just want to wish Sam. Hey Kev, how you doing, bud? I just want to wish Sam all the best. Sam 5 Trader. He's decided to take a break for a while. I think he's feeling it a bit. So he's taking I don't know, a couple. He did say maybe up to the summer, but I think it probably do him good, clear his head. So I just wanted to wish him all the best. He's one of our friends and colleagues. He's a lovely guy. So I hope he gets his head clear. Pretty sure he will. It's amazing what a break does from this business, but it is tough, and he's just finding it hard at the moment. I remember that part I was going through where Sam is now. It feels like it's ripped you to pieces, to be honest with you. It's a horrible feeling. I remember it, and it's just not nice. It's a horrible place to be. So let's just wish Sam all the best. Yeah, absolutely. He's a lovely guy, Sam is, but he's got a job as well. He's an engineer, so he's got a good job, and it takes up a lot of his time. We've all been there. Absolutely, we have, yeah. So we all know exactly what he feels like, so we wish Sam the best. Okay, so we got a leg down here. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. That's like a penguin style trade. I expect that to come down and break the lows now. Trouble is, we're in a trend at the moment, so do I really want to be thinking of going short? Yeah, it's not nice when you're feeling that low, and it does make you feel low. It almost feels like it's ripping your bloody soul out at times. So yeah, I wish Sam all the best. Nice lad. I talk with him quite regularly, but he's a nice guy. So I think a break will do him the world of good. The trouble is, the trouble is in this business, to be able to expose yourself to the emotional side of trading, the only way you can do that is with risk, and risk equals money. And it does seem like you're just throwing money at it sometimes. There's no other way to do it. You can't give yourself that feeling to try and get used to without putting money in it. So it does rip you apart sometimes, I've got to say. I don't think I've ever done anything quite like this in my life that's had such a profound sort of effect on me that's changed my mood. It changes you as a person for a bit. It really does. So hopefully it'll be fine. A break will do in the world of good. That's what you need. Some fresh eyes then. Because I see him trade at the moment, and he's just trade after trade after trade after trade, and I know exactly what it feels like when you're doing that. It's just so damn frustrating. You lose a trade straight away, the emotions are there, you're frustrated, you're straight back into another one, and the market's got a very efficient way of making you miserable when things are getting, when things are bad, things just, your luck doesn't help either. It just seems when things are bad, it's when you seem to have your worst luck. So we all know what it feels like. It's just one of those unique jobs. There's not many like it, which makes you feel, the way it does. So I was doing the same thing recently. I had one trade a day rule. Do you know what? I had a guy phone me up about a year or so ago, Joe his name was, and he said that's how he got out of it, just by setting him one trade a day, win or lose, and he'd shut down and go away. That way, he found he waited longer to pick a better setup because he knew if he took a loss, he'd finish. So always nice to take a green and then go home. And that was how we got out of it. I'm still a massive advocate that, you can read all the books in the world and do all the psychology. I've tried it all and nothing's worked. The only thing that's helping me is just time. You need that exposure to those emotions enough for them to sort of not play as much of a role. And it's like anything you do when there's emotions, it just takes time. So I don't think it's any more complicated than that. But unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, the only way you can expose yourself to those type of emotions is to have risk, which unfortunately can be murder on your bank account. So he'll be fine. He'll be fine. A good break will refresh him, get his head clear. The trouble is, it's like being in a bad relationship sometimes, isn't it? The slightest thing sets you off. You can't seem to get away and calm down. So you need that break, and you need to calm those, that frustration down. When you're angry and wound up all the time, the slightest thing, and you're off, and there's more money, Yeah, he'd be fine. He'd be right, Kev. He will. He's a nice guy. He's resilient enough. He's been doing it 3 years now, so you don't do this for 3 years. Usually you're a keeper if you've been doing it that long. He just needs a break. I think a month or two away and he'll come back. I think he'll miss it to a degree. If you can miss this sort of job. See, for me, I don't know whether it's part addiction. I don't think it's addiction because I kind of like finishing early now. It's more of a challenge, I find. I like to try and beat the market, if you like. I like to try and wait there and just, I've got one up on you type thing. So I find it a challenge. And obviously there's the money issue. Like Max says, you trade for the money, not for the stress or rush of it. But I had to ask my question, am I gambling? At the end of the day, this is exactly what gambling is. It's betting on an outcome where you can lose money. It's no more complicated than it's exactly gambling. But it's gambling that you've got to control. Now, obviously, we have an edge in trading, way more than you do. If you're betting on a boxing match or a horse race, we do have an edge. But while you're learning, it's very easy to get sucked into those emotional, that sort of rush you get as a gambler. So I'm staying out at the moment. There could be a second entry short. We've actually had a break from this and made a new low. So we've made a couple of attempts. Now this could come down. I have a feeling it may do. So I'm not getting into a long here because it is a second entry long after this channel, and you may think, let's go. Yeah, exactly. It sucked you in and spat you out there. We got a channel, clear channel there, no argument. We got a break. You'd expect a new high. So we had a push up back to the EMA, nice big bullish bar, trigger, came back, stopped you out. So this is helping me because we've had the break and we've had the new low here. So we almost seem to be struggling to get up. Which is why I'm not getting involved just at the moment. Because sometimes it will stop you out and then end up going, as we know, back where we actually thought it was going to go in the meantime. So you only take one trade a day or lose. Who was it who said that? They did it. Yeah, I know a few people who take. I think, Kev, you do one and done, don't you? The thing about taking one, I actually think it's not bad practice. There's a possible failure there, but this to me looks bearish. I don't think it's bad practice to do that. My main target in a day is one trade, because I know one trade will give me $200, and even if I can do that every other day, that's $2,000 a month. And that's as much as you can take out at the moment. So for me, I think it's Actually, leg and leg. It's a bit congested here. I don't think one is done. That's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan. I don't think it's a bad call at all. That is, because I think if you know you can only take one, you probably wait for a better setup. So, you know, most of the time, if you look back on my days, most of the time it's rare I do any more than one. So there's a failure there. Looks like it's going to trap. Trouble is, we're congested here, so that, to me, trouble is, where's it going to go? Is it going to, could it go up here? It could just, there may be a bit of congestion along here, see a little bit of sideways, so do I really want to go long or short at the moment? Probably not. Blown up a PA recently, I see it as, the game, we all increase the odds, yeah we do. I think it's fair to say when you lose a trade, the chance of you losing another one straight out quite likely goes up dramatically. I try and, if I lose a trade now, I try and not get back in. I try and sit back and relax and try and get myself calmed down. And I'm much better at it than I used to be. I mean, if you guys look back on some of my early videos a year ago, you'll see me jumping straight back in. The chance of me getting back in after a loser, if I'm going short and it's trapped me, I automatically think, okay, perhaps we're going up. And a lot of cases, if you get back in, it'll trap the longs as well. So it's really frustrating how the market works. But, you know, when things go wrong, you're almost blinded by it. It's not a case of, does it look good? It's a case of, I want my money back. You know, so if the market tends to go up, you just tend to try and follow it. And it does feel like it cripples you sometimes. It really does. It's a horrible feeling, but I believe the only way to get through it is to just keep trading. The more you expose yourself to that feeling, the less of an effect it's going to. It can't have that same amount of effect on you, the same month in, month out, year in, year out. It can't. You have to get used to it to a degree. There's no other way around it. As I said before, you jump out of a plane, first time you do it, you're going to shit your pants. You're not going to get that same scary feeling if you do it again and again and again. It might take you a while. Talk about a flag here, about to go somewhere. Trouble is, we've had this laid down and sideways, so we could come out the bottom. This, with a channel up, we've had a channel down, a break new low. This to me looks like a channel. So you would normally think we would make a new high, but it is choppy and probably rangy, so it's just dangerous trading this because it could go bloody anywhere. About to go and get a coffee, yeah. Good thinking, mate. I've just drunk mine. So it really could go up or down. So we've had this channel, you'd expect to make a new high, but then we've had this break. New low, I think, just by a tick, or maybe not quite. So, but it's started off quite choppy. Up, down, up, down, up, down. So it really could go anywhere. What's the daily doing? Yeah, so I'd have liked to send that bearish bar get trapped, but it hasn't done so. It may be a case of push up, fail, trigger above there and come back down. I think I would think it would be more likely to at least make an effort to retest this rather than just push up, because we've pushed up, lost a bit of momentum. This to me looks like it may be down, up and down. So I wouldn't be shocked if we come down a bit today, but that's just a rough guesstimate, shall we call it. But there's a little bit of sideways there, so I think it would be more likely to come down and at least to attempt to retest this before it goes higher, if it does go higher. But at the moment, this is just not giving me anything. This is pure sideways. This isn't much better. It's just dangerous to trade here. You go short here, what happens? Triggers you, starts to push up. Can't believe it's Friday already. This time next week we'll be in February. Doesn't seem 5 minutes ago since Christmas. Okay, so this looks like it's just sucking in shorts at the moment. This could go up or down, so I kind of like having the two separate pictures because this makes me think about going short. This makes me think about doing nothing. But there is some resistance along there. You can see it here, and along here as well, and here. So so there's a lower high there which is triggered. There's a lower high there which is triggered. So my fear is I wouldn't want to take a short in a range that close to the bottom. My fear is it comes up and stops that out. And if it does that, I'd expect it to do with that one as well. So that's a reason why I'm not looking to take anything like that. I mean, it could come curving down, but it's just dangerous when it's like this. You know, it looks like it's coming down, but I've realised that looks aren't everything sometimes. Looks can be deceiving. See what I mean? If you took that short, that lower high there, thinking, yeah, we're coming down, look what's happened, it's triggered you and it's on its way up. So it's just dangerous here, really. It could go up, trigger that one, stop that out, and then come down. That's how the market tends to work sometimes. Let's see if it stops that out. Has it or not? I don't think it has just yet. But you'll see that sometimes it'll trigger that one, stop it out. Trigger that one, come down and stop it out. And that's what it does. Sucks you in, spits you out. I don't think it's hit that one yet. No, it hasn't. If you went short there, you'd be changing your underwear about now. Yeah, it's just pure congestion at the moment, isn't it? I am surprised that didn't get hit. It ain't over yet, but it's one of the things I found toughest about patience is staying out of this. You know, I'd have 100% taken that, thinking, yeah, lower high. The fact that it's going sideways wouldn't have bothered me in the slightest. But I think you realise sometimes you get away with it, but mostly you don't. Okay, so if you took that one as a high or low, trigger just stopped you out. So I'd say it's certainly more bearish now. The fact that that pushed up and didn't take that short out tells me it's more likely to come down. So we're actually at the bottom now. So let's see what it does. So yeah, there's a second entry long there which triggered and come straight down. Price went up, didn't take that stop out from that bearish bar. If you'd have taken that, which tells me it's slightly more bearish than it is bullish. Now if we can get below here, then I think we've got a good chance of coming down. Trouble is, it could come down and then turn back. So far, it's holding. I don't think it will. But I'm not as confident enough to get into a trade here. There's no setup anyway. But, if it gets below here, I think there's a good chance it's going to come down. But it could just whip back. Okay, so we've got leg down, sideways, leg down. So there's probably going to be a measured move there. So that kind of looks okay to me. I like the way it's sliding down that line there. Touching there a couple of times. Touch, touch, touch. So maybe come back and retest this one. Second entry short off here. Next place, there's some resistances here around the midline of this big channel here. So if we can get 2 legs up, we may be able to get something there. Let's see. I like the way it's triggered above that bullish bar and immediately reversed, so that's another good sign. Nothing here really, too choppy here, too wicky here. As tempting as that is, too far from the MA for me. Second entry short, go on, get up a bit, come up and retest this, back to the MA, come on. Come on, 2 legs up. Okay, 2 legs up here. We test the EMA, maybe this. We may get an option here. It needs to go a bit closer to the EMA though for me, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it's too risky, that is. It's congested. Gotta get up here. Fell break out of here. Second entry short. Come on, get up. Come on, push up. Come on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, possible second entry short. We need to go a bit higher. Tag that EMA in the same there. Go on, get up there. So come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Order submitted.
Yeah, it doesn't really play a part, to be honest with you, mate. I'd like to hold there and then push up a bit more and then give us something bearish. Failed break out of this. Second entry short.
Order cancelled.
That's a shame. I thought we were gonna get lucky there. That was setting up really nice. Second entry short, clearly coming down. Fell break out of the range. Let's have another look at what's going on here. See, I'm not a fan of that. This to me just looks like more of a range, and this just maybe breaking out of it. And this does look more bearish. That's looking positive.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
You're playing the range in the top half of the daily, are you? This does look like it's coming down. Unfortunately, there's no setup. See if we get a lower high there. Okay, maybe trap some longs here. Try to go longs. There's a possible failure. Now, we may have a leg and a leg, but this to me is looking bearish, and this is as well. This trade is just a messy. This trade is just messy. You don't like it. Have you reloaded your historic? Try reloading your historic. There's a lower high there.
Order submitted.
Let's see how this falls.
Order submitted.
Okay. Let's see how we get on here. There is a lower high. We've got a channel down there, break lower high. Just going to give that one extra tick. Oh. This is looking, actually, I may be getting trapped here, we'll see. Come down. Oh, dear me. There's that one extra tick I've given it. It's going
Order
to take me out.
filled.
Wow. Okay. I misread that. Let's have a look. Okay, so everything's closed. Okay. So lower high. Channel down, break, lower high. I thought that was all right, actually. There's a failure. Second entry long triggered.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
That's the second trade I've lost in 2 weeks. I thought that was okay, actually. Channel down, break, lower high. Let's have a look here. Near the bottom of a possible. So I've looked at this. There's going to be some shorts trapped there.
Order filled.
I like the way we trap some longs there. There's going to be some stops there. There's going to be some stops there. I go for...
Target filled.
Okay. That's the one I took there. So everything's shut down. Yeah. That's the one I took there. Unfortunately, I'm surprised that one worked because we've got a channel. I expected a new low. I was going to take a bit more out of that. But, okay, so there was the failure. I like the way we trapped there. Second entry long trap there. There's going to be some longs there. Could be a measured move down here, maybe. I like this. We've got a touch, a touch, a touch, a touch, a touch, touch there, close there. We've got a channel up, break, new high, 2 legs down, 2 legs up, and this to me looked like it was coming down, and it was here as well. It's going to be some longs there. We struggled to get up there. That's not a revenge trade, mate. Not a revenge trade. No, I spent a lot of time revenge trading. I just misjudged that one. Yeah, it was a lower high. I like that one. One, it was a failure. 2, it was trapping the longs. That's not a revenge trade. Trust me, if I went revenge trading, I'll be going up to 10 contracts, not 2. I just misjudged that, that's all. It was a lower high. I expected to come down, and it did what it was supposed to, unfortunately. It took me out there. Thank you, mate. No, I don't generally revenge trade. Certainly, you won't see me revenge trading on the live stream anyway. Any revenge trading I've ever done has been out of what's it? So context read was good. Just the first trade on foot. Yeah, I mean, we got a channel down. It fits perfectly for me. I'm really happy about that. We had a break of it, lower high. I thought that was okay. And not only that, it was a break out of the range. We had a little range there, little sideways. I wouldn't take that one because of the stem, but when we had a lower high, I thought the lower high was okay. I'll be surprised if a few people didn't get caught that. It took me out and ended up doing what I thought it was going to. So, let's have a look. So 625, 725, 825. So 275 was the first one. Is that right? So 17, yeah, so minus 2.75 for the lower high. So lower high minus 2.75 for that one, and that was a failure. I love the way it trapped the long, see, and that was a failure. And that's 13, 14, 15 and a half, 2.5 points that was. Got out there. So it looks 13.5, 14.5, 15. So that's 2.5 points. So plus 2.5 points. It was a failed second entry long. Plus 2.5 points. There we go. All's well that ends well. I'm really surprised that first one. I thought that was an absolute corker, to be honest with you. Fell break out of this. Clearly range in there. Top. Push up. Straight down. Went up. Came right the way down. Finished one. Took off its low. Triggered. Stopped out. And it was the failure that came down. So if you call this a bottom, high or low possibly. I'm just staying out of that at the moment until I figure out what's going on here. It does look like this is the bottom of a range, and there is a higher low there. And I'm just sitting tight at the minute. So let's say this is likely. Yeah, okay. That makes perfect sense. Bottom of the range. I'll be surprised if a few don't get caught out there. Let's have a look. What I missed here. Alfredo revenge trade, mate. No. I tend to not do it now. It doesn't stress me out. Did you hear any stress in my voice when I lost that? No, I just figured out what was going on. And sort of saw the failure stroke long. The way we come up, and we're clearly working down this line, you can see it come up and it's retesting the top of it, then it trapped the longs, came down. So for me it was coming down to the lows. Like a first entry to the bottom. Now we had the break. Let's do the possible trap. Yeah, second entry short triggered. At the moment, see, this still looks bearish to me, which is another reason I have this on my. I mean, it might not. There is a failure there. Possible failure. Trouble is, we got 4 smaller bars there with wicks back to back, so that could be a bit dangerous. It has trapped that, but it hasn't. Excuse me a sec. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, see, at the moment. This still looks like a channel to me. I don't think there's anything bigger here. It is choppy for us for certain. I still like that one. I was surprised we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nice touches there. It's clearly working down. Second entry short, that one, lower high. I'm really surprised that one trapped. The only thing I can say is it may just be a bit congested, but I can usually tell straight away, but I thought that was actually nice. Yeah, sideways and up. There is a failure there. I just don't like that. It does look like a bull flag of sorts, but It's getting a bit wicky, isn't it? See, if you took that bearish bar, it triggered you, and it hasn't stopped you out yet. I feel it may do, but oh, this is odd. This looks like it may come down. I don't know if it will, but we're still working within this channel. Yeah, someone else took that trade. I thought there might be some. Yeah, someone else took the lower high. They've got that channel, the same lower high. Yeah, I bet that caught a few out of that. We did eventually make the low. I was really surprised, actually, but then I'm surprised it did that and then came straight down. But there you go. See, for me, we look like we're still in this channel. Touching along the bottom is really nice, and here, so I would expect this to come down. And this is not going up as much as I. So if you'd have taken that trade, sorry, if you'd have taken the second entry short triggered you, you're still okay. So for me, this looks like it's coming down some more. So whether now we're just doing a bit of this, that's a possibility. Maybe just we're coming into a smaller range. Yeah, I feel this may just be a smaller range. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches there, 3 at the bottom. This does look like a little break from this. I mean, let's say a spike in channel. We got touch, 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 touch. Multiple touches down here. Multiple touches. Really nice. In fact, it's nicer at the bottom than it is the top. So I'd say there's a chance that's going to come down. So maybe this is just a leg down and a couple of attempts to go, and then we come down some more, maybe. I don't think there's anything bigger going on there. Oh, maybe there is. Maybe there is. Let's just get rid of that at the moment. In fact, you know what? I think that might be better. That just as works. Perhaps this is the break and then we're coming down to make a new low. I'm not a fan of that now because it's only really touched twice. I'd say it's probably more that. I'm just based in what I'm seeing here. I'm just sort of putting the two together. Which that would make sense why that didn't necessarily work. It came back up to that line again. So that may be a little bit better. It visually looks okay to me. So that might make sense. We came off their lower high and then triggered, came back up to this line again and then dropped. So that might be why that didn't work. Whereas I initially had it there, which worked okay as well. I don't know, perhaps it is. I mean, if you think about it, we touch, nice there. Very close there. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not. We got a touch. 2 touches there, a touch there, maybe a touch here. There's a lower high there. Lower high there. I still don't, if that ends up bearish, the trouble is we haven't got much room to the lows there. Maybe trap some longs. So we got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, fairly down we come. This may be a penguin style trade, leg up, leg up. I kind of like that. See how we get on. Leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, failure. One, two, three. 15 day, 21 day, bud. 21 day. Okay, let's have a look what's going on here. You got your trade. Yeah, you take it easy, bud. Catch you later. Trouble is, if this is a channel on the NQ, this still could come down. It looks like a leg and a leg. It could still come down. Just looking. Just looking at the daily. We pushed out. We seem to be losing momentum, so we've broken above there now. It's hard to know what's going to go on. It could come back. I'll be surprised if it does continue on up without at least making an effort to retest this. Okay, so maybe that is just like that then. I'm really surprised. I bet there'll be a few traders got caught out there. I mean, this is clearly a channel. We had a break of it, pushed down, lower high. I'm really surprised that didn't work. It went up there, a couple of ticks above, and then came down. I'm really surprised that didn't work. Closed one inch and reopened it. My chart matches yours now. Excellent. Just reload historic. It didn't do it. Yeah. That's slippage on the tray before. One of it was because my chart is inaccurate. I don't know. I don't know how important reloading your chart is. I don't know whether everybody does it. It's just something I've been doing for a couple of years. I don't quite know. Reload historic data? Doesn't sound very current, does it? So, I don't know. I've had a brief sort of chat with email Mac sort of a year and a half, 2 years ago. And he said sometimes it's still different. The only way I can see it is obviously I'm in the UK. You know, there's guys all around the world here, so the data's got to come from this. I'm assuming the ES servers. It's only got to get to your screen a fraction of a second before or after it gets to mine, and it could be slightly different. So Mac's only ever told me just to trade chart as you see it. You know, sometimes I've seen, other people posting it on the Facebook group, and like I think Marco did one the other day, he had a failure. He had a bar, a wick triggered above a bar. It wasn't on mine, so sometimes you get one. But yeah, the swings and roundabouts. Sometimes it works in your favour, sometimes it doesn't. But there's no issues. I don't really just trade it as you see it. So, okay. That's probably a bigger channel there. So like touch. So this just looks to me, after that sort of 2 legs down and 2 legs up, we just seem to be going sideways at the moment. Be interested to see. I'm just going to pop that across there because we have got a little bit of resistance there. So whether this will be the top or whether there'll be a breakout or not, who knows. I'd just like to have something there just in case if we get a long here, see, I'd just rather be a bit cautious. Person to person, yeah, possibly. I don't fully understand the ins and outs of it. That's the downside of being a retail trader. You know, if you work for a bank or an investment company, you'll probably have all the answers, won't you? They'll know about it, but obviously a retail guy, we tend to sort of learn all this stuff by ourselves, and obviously there's gaps in, what we know. Okay, there is a second entry long, million miles from the EMA, so nowhere near interested in that. Might work, might not. But there is a bit of resistance here, so certainly won't be going along into there, because I wouldn't be shocked if we get, same again, this is, the NQ is quite away from the EMA, so we could get a pullback before we decide to push further. Okay, channel up, 2 legs up break. Let's see where this goes. See, there is a, with the exception of that, there's a leg up, so we could get something else at some point throughout the day. Could end up getting something like that or whatever. Could still go higher on the daily. Yeah, I'm still a bit miffed about that. See, it may be we got a leg down, one attempt to go higher, so perhaps it just made another attempt to go higher. Perhaps that wasn't quite enough of an attempt. Shame. But I like the fact that there was a second entry long there that triggered. There'd have been maybe a few stops here. Okay, break one. Let's get another push up to here. Close, but not close enough for me. I still want to go a bit higher before I think about going short if we do start to come down. Dean on the lower, the 1 minute chart, the low worked nicely. Yeah, it's an odd one that, isn't it? I can usually, have a fair idea why something didn't work. The only thing I could say with that is we got a leg down, we had 1 temp higher. Maybe it wasn't quite as strong as a push up. I don't know, maybe a little bit congested. It doesn't look too congested. But it is surprising to just take you out by a sort of a tick or two and then come down. Surprising that. I know I certainly know one who took that one and lost it. There's a couple of other got the charts like that. It looks perfectly fine to me. We had a break lower high. There we go. It happens, doesn't it? Sometimes it happens. Sometimes, might be just that there's a bit of congestion. See, after those two bars, then there's a bit more of congestion. But at the time, it just looked like a push down, a pull back, and a lower high. I thought, especially after the little bit of sideways, it would come down. But sometimes you just don't know, do you? It's rare I can't tell you the answer, but there I think it was a bit of a tricky one. We hadn't come down to the lows. Who knows? God only knows. Okay, so we've got a break there. And a new high. Are we high enough to think about going short? We are here. So we've had a break, 2 pushes up to a new high. As we know, market moves in twos. 1, 2 legs up, break, 1, 2 legs up. So if we can get a lower high or something that's indicating, we'll come in lower. I know there's volume up here, so there is a bearish bar there, which is triggered. So we'll just keep an eye on this. Excuse me, just for 2 minutes. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. Okay, so we've broken above there, clearly. Just looking on the daily, we've sort of had that push up again. Okay, so there's a lower high which is triggered. There's a failed second entry short there. So is that going to go up, stop that out, or is it going to come down? No trade up here, so we are making higher lows and higher highs at the moment. So I'm not thinking about going short just yet. I'd like to see it come in here and come back into the range and get below the EMA before I think about taking a trade short. Okay, there's a possible lower high there. I just don't like the fact. It's not formal anyway, I think. There's clearly some resistance there, a little bit of sideways. So it's hard to know what's going to go on here. Once if it reaches there so many times, it could come down, but it also could be going sideways and then work up into a channel. This looks like it might be doing a channel. Let's have that. There is a possibility. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. It's the wife. Can't ignore that. Can't ignore the boss. So there is a possibility that may go sideways and then eventually push up into a bigger range, a bigger channel. It's possible. This looks like it may be maybe forming a spike and channel, possibly. Let's see what happens. We need this to push up and hold. It certainly could go a lot higher on the daily. There's no argument there. We're up here. We're not far from the highs. I mean, we're at all-time highs here. Or are we? Yes, we are. Nearly. Very close to it anyway. Very close to all-time highs. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, it could hit it and then come tumbling down. It may just be a case of one push up, a second push up, and then down we come. So we're about to hit all-time highs. So I just have to keep an eye on that. So do I really want to go long into all-time highs? Probably not at the moment. I'd say there's likely a leg and a leg. So that would take us up here. Yeah, this is all-time highs. We've not been up here for a few days. Yeah, we've just hit all-time highs, I think. Let me have a look. Looks like it. We're very close. So it could hit it and come. It did this, didn't it? A couple of weeks ago, it hit it, and I came back in the afternoon, and it absolutely tanked. Came down about 90 points. So it's interesting to see. Actually, I think we're right on it now. Yeah, we're right at it. That's interesting. Okay, big bearish bar there, or relatively big bearish bar, right into all-time highs. Is this going to come or not? It's just been that at the minute. I'm not sure about that. It's just a bit of sideways. Trouble is, push up sideways, could be a fail breakout. Last thing I want to do is get into a trade here, so I'm just going to have to sit tight on this. It could come tumbling down. Be interested to see if it does. See, I would expect that. To do something more like that. Excuse me a sec. Yeah, that might end up being a two-tiered channel. Channel 1, 2 legs of correction, another channel. If that comes down to here, I kind of like that. Let's bring that down. We got a touch here, touch, and same here as well. This looks like we may. This is pure speculation, but I get it right sometimes. Let's just keep an eye on it for that. What have I just deleted? Definitely not going along there. Two legs back, retest the top will be interesting. Does look like a leg up with 1, 2 legs back, and then another leg. Yeah, a couple of people got stung there. I'm not surprised. Let's have a look at this. I mean, even if you put that like this, 2 legs back, or a break, and a push up. Let's just leave it as a spike and channel for now. Leg. Way too far for the EMA, and if that turns bullish, we're going to have to come further down here for me to be interested in this. Certainly do. Was it really? So leg and a leg. Depends where you draw that from, doesn't it? They're not measured and moves. Still in play. Price could easily shoot a bit higher. Well, I was kind of hoping we were going to have a couple of legs down here. This looks like it's slowly grinding higher. We've got above this little congestion, come back and still pushing up. Trouble is, there's no entry for us really there, is there? I was hoping we'd get maybe at least down to the EMA leg and a leg, but we just, well, it ended up a half bearish bar, but just no one, what can you do? So we got a leg up, let's say 2 legs back and a leg up. My chart had a good signal bar for a second, not too long. Yeah, it is surprising how different they can be. Trouble is, in all fairness, if that was a bullish bar, I would still leave that because for me it's too far from the EMA. And my concern would be that we would have 2 equal legs back, which would take us sort of down to sort of here. We would certainly have to get closer to the EMA, so leg back, leg back. You don't know just whether it's going to trigger and then come back down lower because there's still some, I always like to find, before I sort of take a trade if I can, I always like to try and get either back to support or back to either a measured leg back to the EMA. And I figured after this, nice place to bounce would be somewhere along here. I mean, you could even take that up a fraction to there. So, push through there and sit on top of that line there. 2 legs back, sit on top of the line, in which case I'd go, but I'm not a massive fan. Even if that had been bullish, it's just too far from the EMA. I just lost so many trades in the past, not taking them close enough to the EMA, so I tend to, which is why I thought that was ideal. Second entry short, all right, the bar was a bit crappy, but then lower high. I really like that one. And it's a shame it triggered, pushed up, and then trapped the long. So perhaps we push up, 2 legs down here, and trigger the long, and come down and take the long stops out. And there's probably some there as well. And then bounce, come back once, twice to retest it, try and retest it, and off it went. I'm really surprised that first one didn't. I'm still surprised it didn't work. I'd take that again. I can't, for the life of me, figure out why. The only thing I could say is there may be a bit of support there, possibly. Yeah, maybe there is a little bit. It's hard to say. It'd be interesting to see what people think of that later in the Facebook group. But it just looked like a nice lower high. We got a channel going there. We had a break, lower high, comfortably below the EMA. Not only that, a little fade break out of this. It's just one of those things sometimes. Yeah, it wasn't to be. You took it. I looked at it like yesterday's setup. I took. Yeah, the reason I got into that one, it wasn't revenge trading. I could see that the long was trapped, and when that sort of triggered it and came back down, it would make sense leg to take that out. Sometimes the fact that they were close together doesn't mean you shouldn't necessarily take it. If as far as I'm concerned, if I see a trade that's good enough, even if it's 10 seconds after the next one, I'll still take it. My rule is if I have 2 losses in a day, I'll quit for the day. I haven't in the last. Well, I haven't had this. I haven't had a red day in the last sort of 2 weeks. So this is 13, 14, and 14 trades. I've lost 2. That's the second one, but I was surprised that didn't work. I gave it an extra tick, but maybe an extra 2 ticks would have done the trick. But you just don't know, do you? Who knows? Now this is that possible wider channel I mentioned. because I kind of like that. We've got a channel up, 1, 2 legs back, and another channel up. It can go a lot higher. Trouble is, we are at all-time highs again, so it just could absolutely. Well, we've broken all-time highs. So last time we hit it, we just tanked, didn't we? And then we pushed up. So you just don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, every time it hits all-time highs, it can't just come down. It's gonna have to continue on up at some point. Failed second entry short, almost triple test. Failed second entry short. Trouble is, I don't know. Well, so where's the new low then? The trouble is, there's a new low, there's a new low, there's a new low, there's a new low, there's a new low. So it's multiple. It's not really a failure. We've got to have a new low to start the count for a failure. That's not a new low. That isn't. So we got a first entry, second entry, third entry, fourth entry, fifth entry, sixth entry, seventh entry, eighth entry. So there's no new low there yet until here, really. So let's just see what this does. Let's get this fitting neat. Yeah, I know. Sometimes you're going to count them, do you? But I get what you're saying. So trouble is, this could just be a failed break out of this. It's always a possibility. But I'm interested to see what this does as well. Let's see if that works. I'm hoping it works off that bottom there. It doesn't quite, or does it? It's not far off. Which means it's going to come a bit further. Touch. I'm not a massive fan of that. This one looks a bit better. But to be honest with you, I've got to let it sort of start to move up before I think about getting in. What the hell's happened there? Where's Rhythmic gone? Oh, bloody hell, what is going on? Rhythmic's cut out for some reason. That's just what you need, isn't it? Luckily, I'm not on a trade. This is getting an absolute ball ache. Come on, log in. There we go. Don't know why that happens. Let's get rid of Discord. At least we know when Rhythmic cuts out because this disappears, so I think when we make a new high without touching the EMA, it's likely going to make a new... yeah. Trouble is, it could be just a failed breakout. I mean, really, we've got a push-up sideways and a push-up. You'd expect it to get at least a bit higher, wouldn't you? But who knows? If we just push it off that sort of all-time high again, you just don't know. I mean, it's a lot of support, isn't it? We're above it. It's hard to say, really. So I never, even with 2 legs now, I rarely take them unless it's obvious. I always wait for a higher low because it's much safer. This isn't so clear at the moment. See, we could have a leg and another leg down here. So if we're going to include that and it works at the tops, it could come down quite a bit. Not getting involved here. Trouble is, if we go with that spike and channel, we've had a break and a new high, so this is pure speculation, but this is a lot of the times how it works. It's been a funny couple of days. I didn't like yesterday at all. There's no sort of structure to it. It's clearly sideways, but it's very messy. 1 minute you think we're pushing up, and then But it is choppy yesterday. I didn't enjoy yesterday. Mine just sat there for 4 hours without a trade. Yeah, see, I tend to wait for the higher low. I give the failure a chance to trap you. But I'm not sure what I'm seeing on here, really. It's hard to say. Could just be a failed breakout. He could come back in. Let's have a look here. We're going to trap some shorts. It's not triggered. I'd prefer that to trigger, but we could have a leg and a leg. We're still a bit away from the EMA here, so it's hard to say. You've got to be so careful. You misjudge it, it stings you. Okay, that bearish bar has triggered now. We're back to the EMA. Okay, let's get rid of that in a minute. Let's try and figure out what's going on. This just might be nothing in all fairness. Let's put that like that. Channel break, new high, maybe 2 legs back, and then we'll push. I don't know. Sometimes it's a bit dangerous starting to draw things if you're not 100% sure what you're looking at. That looks better from there. So we got a break. 1, 2, 3 pushes up to a new high, maybe 2 legs back, and we're off again, or it could just come back into this range. If we do get 2 legs back, I may be interested in a higher low, but it's got to correspond with this. 1 leg, 2 legs. So. Okay, so maybe this is forming a wider channel. It would make sense. The fact that it's holding here would indicate to me that maybe we've got something wider. So if we take it on the NQ, if we take it from there, it touches there. We've got a touch there, touch there. If we can get 2 legs down, it may take us to here. Then if we look for a higher low, and this is an educated guess, leg, we get down to here and then hold and start to work up. Trouble is we are back in this range now, so maybe it come down, test the underside, and then drop like a stone. Who knows? I don't think it will. We've got 2 legs. if we do get past here, then I think it's game over. We're back in the range properly, but see, there is some support around there. So you can see it here, right the way along here, and hopefully here, 2 legs back and a bounce. If we push up, get a higher low, then I'll be thinking about going longer. Okay, that's promising. That looks like 2 legs down. Let's just check. Close to it. Very close. So 2 legs. Fingers crossed. No, I never take this, even if it turns out bullish, and this does. We got 2 legs down. That's a second entry long. But I always wait for the higher low. Saves you getting stung. Yeah, it is a bit of a hard day to read. Well, it's looking like there's 2 legs down anyway, and there is there now. You know, obviously we've got to wait and see what happens next. But if we do manage to push up above this, and then maybe get a higher low, then that would indicate to me there's a good chance there's a bigger channel. I don't think it can work from there. It's way too shallow. So maybe we just go from here, somewhere along those lines. It's pure speculation, but if it does manage to start pushing up there, then I think there may be something like that. A leg and a leg, we'll see. But until that day, we'll see. So this will give us an indication if this manages to hold. If this comes down and stops this out, then but there is a little bit lower to that measured leg, I think, so it still could work even if it comes down and stops that out. But I like the fact that that's dropped right on that line, so that's a good sign initially. Let's see if it holds. It hasn't broken below there yet. Clearly see that support there, so fingers crossed. Same again. I'm not interested in this. I've seen it doing like that. It gives you the 1. If you don't take that, it gives you another 1, and sometimes it'll start to go and go, come on, follow me, and then it'll drop. So that's promising. So 2 legs back. The fact that it hasn't made that measured leg is fine, in my opinion, because we've touched that line. Maybe some stops there, quite possibly there. So if we can get up above that, we're going to rocket on up, I think. So leg, looking for a higher low above this. Yeah, I never take. I mean, it is a second entry long, no argument, but I never take that one because it's under this at the moment. Although it is sat on support, so I got mixed feelings. I like to give it a chance to get trapped and stopped out. If that doesn't happen and we push up and get a higher low, that will give me an indication that we're more likely to go up. Trouble is, if you go along there, it may trap you and stop you out. So if you let that one go, and if it doesn't trap you and stop you out, pushes up for a higher low, then the chance of it going a lot higher is good. So, I mean, there's obviously, it could just be a fell break out the range. If that's the case, then there may be a channel down there. So let's see if it drops below there. It may trap the shorts and push up. No, it's took any stops out there. So if you took that one, you got stopped out there. Which is why I never take that one. I always give it a chance to do that, and if it does it, you've saved yourself a trade. If it continues on up, you pick off the higher low. And obviously, as we know as well, sometimes it'll trap the long, and then push up, trap the short, and then up we go. So it's just still not ready to go short at the moment because. That's another reason I like this. We've got a touch, and it's holding on that line, which is another reason not to go short at the moment. So it's just sit tight. I mean, I'll be traders who take that thinking, well, we're testing this underside and then we drop. But same again, I think that's risky to take that. There is support across there, and this doesn't look like it's over going up just yet. If we push below there and come down, then obviously it's a different story. But it could do either or. See, it's holding there, isn't it? If it stops above there, I think there's a good chance that's going up. We've got a touch there, and look at that, it's holding there, so you can't deny that. So I think that failure may get trapped. We'll see. It could still come down. It may just trap some long and then drop like a stone, but I can't think about longs at the moment. We'll go into Rich's support. You reckon 4925 down here? Okay, let's talk about the small. So we've had a push down, we've had a break, 2 pushes down to a new low. Let's see what happens now. Okay, excuse me, just for 1 minute. Okay. Okay, 2 legs down. Let's see if we can get a higher low here. So there's the failure there. So try go once, try twice. Failure triggered. That failure has to get stopped out, and we have to have a nice higher low. So at the moment we've had a break, 2 pushes up to a new high, 2 legs back. Needs to take out that one. Okay, that stop's gone. Trouble is, this could just drop. It could move very quickly in either direction. There'll be some longs in there, no doubt. Second entry long, maybe a higher low. Trouble is, it'll do this sometimes. It'll suck you in and then wham. It's pushed up there, but it still doesn't seem like it's in a massive rush. And that concerns me when it does that. Got trap, fell second entry long, like an amateur. Fell second entry long. Oh, that one. Yeah, trouble is, if you're going along there, look left. I have a piece of sticky on my, a little sticky note on my computer. Taking a trade, look left. I've done that so many times, and if I look left, I can see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bits of support just there. 11, 12, 13. So there's a chunk of support there. And that's kind of what I do, give it chance to trap someone. And if it does trap the shorts and manages to hold higher, trouble is it's not pushing up quite as strong as I thought it might. If it gets above here and here, that's fine. But, you know, all the signs are right, but it could just turn. You count every candle. I count every candle. Everything always bounces off some sort of support, yeah. The thing is, going short there at the moment, one, we've got 2 legs down. The 2 legs are played out, so it could then, you know what I mean? You just counted every candle left. Yeah, I was just making a point of... if I'm going to take a short here, I'll be thinking, am I going short into support? Well, I'll put that line along there because you can clearly see how many times it's respected that line there that I drew. It's just a line I drew, you know. I was just making a point of it's respected it a lot of times. So I always think if I take a trade, I have a little sticky note on my computer that says look left, just to check I'm not trading into support. So after this push break, few pushes up to a new high, we make 2 legs back. And at the moment, it's managing to stay on top of support. So yeah, I don't count the candles. I was just making a point of you can see 3 times there, and if you look back a few times there as well. Trouble is, it's just not pushing up as strong as I'd like at the moment, so it could still trap some longs there, and then absolutely drop. It wouldn't be the first time it's done it. If you draw a short-term trend channel for the highs of the next swing, fell second entry, reject the rest of them. Draws from the highs to the next swing. You're on about that, aren't you? Yeah. You're on about that, yeah. See, if I was going to go short there anyway, for one, it's too far from the EMA. I much prefer that body up there. And you've got some congestion there as well. There's 4 bars back to back, and obviously with all the support. Yeah, there's a bunch of things that made me uncomfortable with thinking about that. Yeah, I mean, we got a leg up there, 2 legs back, so I think there's a good chance of a push up. See, I've got that on my mind as well. That's quite bullish at the moment. But I see so many people trading and losing trades that take them too far for the EMA. I know it's touched the EMA, but that's where I like to take them if I'm going to take a short that, you know, that's pushed up and rejected and sat under the EMA. You know what I mean? And I just find that it keeps me, you know, a lot safer, put it that way. I lose a lot less. But we've had 2 legs down. As we know, market moves in twos. Often we'll have 2 legs down, then 2 legs up and 2 legs down. Whatever. You know, same here. 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's just too far, and I'm looking at 4 bars back to back there. There's a little bit of congestion there, so you just don't know. And obviously with that support as well, I'd want it to push through there, come back up, and then get rejected before I take that. It's just hard to know what to do at the moment. I think there's probably a fair chance we're just doing a bit of sideways stuff. Clearly at the moment. So, yeah, it's these things that go through your head, isn't it, when you're working what to do. But as I said yesterday, the hard bit is we've all got different levels of things we see. There's that many little aspects to deciding on a trade, and we all, some of them might, some of my strong points might be your weak points, some of your weak points might be, some of your strong points might be my weak points, and we always have different levels of risk. I've seen someone who I know to be very strict traders taking trades that I normally would avoid. So the trouble is with trade, there's so much grey area. It's not one size fits all. There's not one way to do it. So it's hard sometimes, and it's, some people see different pictures. I mean, there was a trade yesterday that I avoided. The more I look back at it, I thought it was an absolute beauty, but it's just one of those things. This is just moving up too slow for me. I've got into trades like this before thinking, yeah, look, it's grinding high, and all of a sudden it seems to trap a bunch of lows, a bunch of shorts, and then wham, comes down like a rocket. My weak point is fading the breakouts. Yeah, I tend to avoid picking tops and bottoms. In all honesty, I'm crap at them. I can't seem to pick them right. I don't know why. Mac will say that he loves trading range days. You just short the tops and buy the bottoms, but it's not always that simple. I mean, if we've been up here before, why wouldn't you short that? We've had a break and a new high. Why wouldn't you short that? Same again, we've had 2 legs. Why wouldn't you short that? It came down, came out and stopped. So I just find picking tops just really hard. It just doesn't seem to work enough for me. Unless it's absolutely obvious there's 2 legs back and it's dropped right below and it's nice and strong. Even if they're good, the prompt. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not very good at them. It's not one of my strong points, so I tend to avoid them. And since I've started avoiding them, I get a much better win rate. So what I'm seeing at the moment, if this is a channel, we've made 2 attempts to go higher. So that to me would be a penguin style trade. Leg down, 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt to go higher fairly. If that breaks through the EMA, there's a good chance that may come back in. That's speaking from the penguin guy is trade. Having said that, this is looking bullish, and we're in a range, and we've just come off the bottom, so I would think there's a chance we could push higher, at least to here. But as I say, I see this so many times, and it'll just drop. There's longs there may be longs there, and it'll just drop. So it just makes me so nervous. There is technically a higher low there, but at the moment I'm just not going long, because I wouldn't be shocked if I got stung. If we can trap some shorts here, 2nd entry short which is triggered, I may take the failure, we'll see. But, I think there's a good chance we get up to the tops here, even if we don't push higher. But I'm just keeping an eye on this at the moment, because, I like the fact we've had a touch, we've had a couple of touches there, so that is encouraging. But there's not enough buyers in there, really, in my opinion. Otherwise, it'd be moving up a bit stronger. It seems to be stalling, and that's what makes me nervous. The slower this thing goes, the quicker it can move. So, trouble is, if we got a leg down, 2nd entry short, this could be a penguin style trade. And if I'm thinking of that trapping and going long, because I think it's going higher, it can get me into trouble. So I might just end up having to miss this, because that is a penguin style trade, 2 legs up. Lucky it's not a massive bar. Let's see what happens if this triggers. So we can have a break. One attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. It is a failure, that, and we trapped them short. Let's have a look. I kind of
Order
like this.
submitted.
Looks like a bold flag as well. Push up sideways.
Order cancelled.
I think this is going to come down and quickly. So I actually think that's not a bad trade. I'm just not getting involved because it goes against what my way of doing things at the moment. But that looks to me like a nice penguin trade. We've had a break, 2 attempts to go higher. But there is support here. So is there enough to get 2 points there? There's not enough for penguin. No, there's barely a point there, really. Just too risky. Too much SEM again, too much support to go short into. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 touches there. Too much support to go short into, that is. However you look at this. This just does look to me like it's going to come rocking down. There'll be loads of longs in there, and it's when it's slowly grinding up, to me, it's just losing momentum. This is going to tank, I think. Let's see if it holds. I just think we're losing the battle, I think. Winning the war, but losing the battle. Yeah, this is going to come tumbling down, I think. There's going to be longs there, second entry long, thinking we're going to push up higher for another leg. 2 legs back. High or low, let's go long. Yeah, this is. I had my suspicions. There'll be some more there, 2 legs back. Let's see if that holds. I don't think it will. I'll be amazed if it will. Sometimes these strong positions do meant to hold, but I don't think that's going to. No, there you go. Okay. So that penguin trade did work. So he'd take that. He'd want to be out before the bottoms, wouldn't he? So would he take that about there, maybe? Yeah, and he'd be out there. I'll be surprised if he doesn't mark that. Okay, leg and a leg. So that's the problem. It just looks to me like it's trapping longs. You know, oh, quick, we've got to get in there. It's slowly going up, and sometimes the slower it goes up, the quicker it ends up moving in the opposite direction. And same again. We have touched this twice, so we could come. I wouldn't be surprised if I came back later and this was down here somewhere. So we're clearly back in this range now, aren't we? So I'd like to maybe retest this and then think about a short, maybe. Leg and a leg. So leg up, 2 legs of correction. It could still go up. Let's have a look. Maybe that will work from there now. There is the possibility it could still go up. Looks like a beautiful second entry short. That one there, you mean? My issue of that is until it starts to move in a direction, I'm staying out. Now, what I will say is we've pushed up. It could trigger that and push up, in which case it'd be a failure. Failed second entry short, trigger that and push up. I mean, if it triggered it and started to move up, then I may be interested, but I when it goes slow like that, it makes me nervous, because I've been in trades like that before and thinking it's going up. I'm looking for an entry and I'll do anything I can to get in, and all of a sudden it drops. So whenever it starts to go very slow and slowly starts to climb, I usually just stay out of it. There was nothing really. There's no real entry there. You could have said that was maybe a lower high. We've come up and tested this line a couple of times, but you wouldn't have got nothing out of that. So I just think sometimes if you're not sure, best to stay out. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I came back later and the market was down here somewhere. Where the hell's that come from? Yeah, it's even harder to read this one. It's even more of a mess. Like that. Way too far from the EMA to go short that. I missed that short trade. It is a penguin style trade, that's for sure. We got a channel down. We had 2 attempts to go high, bearish bar. It usually takes those below the EMA. The trouble is, at the moment, I'm still thinking 2 legs back. We could push higher. So I got mixed feelings about this, which is why I decided to leave it alone. Leg down, 2 legs up, bearish bar. Yeah, I'd much prefer. Trouble is, once you get thinking in a certain direction, it's hard to get out of that. See, what I'm seeing is a leg up, 2 legs back and a leg up. There's still that possibility that we've had a push up. This could just be a correction. We may still be push higher. So I'm just not sure at the moment. There's maybe a double bottom there, so we may get back to the EMA. Okay, we've hit that 3 times now. It's too early to draw a large downtrend, really. Yeah, it's just too early there. If you go from there and there, we've already broken it. It fit nicely. It's just too early. We've just got 2 legs down at the moment. It's got to come up really and hit that again. Trouble is, if you do that, as you push up, you might be thinking about going long, but with this, it gets you thinking short, and all at the moment we've just done 2 legs. What I've found is you're much better just focus on the smaller stuff, especially with only scalping for a point or two. Trouble is, you go for the bigger charts, you know, too soon. It can get you thinking in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? So this is the ideal sort of size to work out what's going on. See, we've got a triple bottom there. See, so there's always a possibility. See, the trouble is when it's like this, it's you know, some days the market's really easy to read. It's like going out with a mate you've known for years, and then other times, as Matt calls it, multiple personalities. It's like you're out with a complete stranger. There's always that possibility, and that would certainly fit beautifully. There's always a possibility we got a leg up, a correction, and then we're going to make another leg up. It's certainly possible. Because it's the oddest looking range day, in all fairness. It's hardly a range day, really. We've just had a push up. We've had 2 attempts to go lower and another push up. So we may get a correction. But it's a bit of an odd looking range, isn't it? I mean, this looks even worse. So it's hard to say at the moment. It's hard to say. So, but the trouble is, if you have this, straight away you'd be looking for longs, when at the moment, until it gives us any type of an indicator where it's going, it can get you into trouble. At the moment, we've got a break, and we're trying to make a new low. So there is a triple bottom, in fact 4 times. I'd like to at least hit that measured leg, but it's just hard to know. Could come back up here and make a leg. It's just one of those things that you've just got to, you know, sort of try and figure out what the hell's going on. 10,000 tick chart and see a perfect large uptrend. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what makes me think. Let's have a look. I bet that fits now, does it? Yeah, it's not far off. Yeah, so there is always that possibility. 2 legs down, retest this line, and off we go again. I'll tell you what, I like the way it's holding this. This looks like it's bottoming to me. If we can get a push up and a higher low, then that would indicate me. But at the moment, I don't know what the hell I'm seeing here. This is even more confusing, this picture. What's happened the last few days? Does this make any sense? So leg down, maybe a break, 2 pushes down to a new low. It's so hard to say, isn't it? Let's have a look on the 10,000 tick chart. It doesn't give us much more, to be honest with you. We got a leg up, 2 legs back, and a leg up. Yeah, see, I wouldn't even really be comfortable about that, about putting that into yeah, see if you, yeah, that doesn't look any better, really. It just might be one of those bloody awful messy days that doesn't really make much sense. Leg and a leg. This almost looks like it's bottoming, but I'd like to push up and then get a higher low up here. Yeah, it's just confusing me even more, that. Yeah, usually the bigger charts tend to sometimes give you a bit more of a picture of what's going on. Got to be careful, because you could get stung here going short. We've got a leg and a leg anyway. Maybe a couple of ticks off a perfect measure legs, but as good as. Clearly just looks like 2 legs, so we're up to the EMA. Let's see if it traps some shorts and then pushes up. Trouble is, there's support there, there's support there. So easy to get trapped in the wrong direction. Sometimes I wonder whether you're just flip a flipping coin sometimes. Just pick heads for up, tails for down. You just got, sometimes when it's like this, you've got as much chance of winning a trade by doing that. But we've bounced a bunch of times there, so that does look like it's almost bottoming. This isn't really telling me much. No, it's just completely confusing, this, really. So that's closed under that line there. On the 10,000. This needs to just give me a bit better of a picture. If you can get a couple of legs and another leg up. This is, are we going high? Yeah, it's certainly trying to, isn't it? We've been up here. We've had 2 legs down. We've had a break. So we've made 2 measured legs and pushed up. So it's certainly the feeling I'm getting that we're trying to work higher. Trouble is, we've got such a lot of strong support up here. So it just might hit a bunch of times and then tank. Excuse me a second. Okay. Okay. Leg. Trouble is, unless you get a strong entry, you're really going to get shafted. What's the stream, mate? My starting to wonder. Yeah, sun's peeking out. So I'm going to boat ride. Yeah, you have a good one. Take it easy, Kev. You be careful on that boat of yours. 10 miles an hour, keep it strict. Connect the lows starting overnight. Maybe not trend. Yeah, I have had a look at that. But at the moment, it's just too damn messy. It does fit. I just don't like the way it's right up here. At the moment, it's just 2 legs down. You know, I think there's a chance that by the end of the day, but it's such a wide channel, even if it gets up here, it looks a bit over. I don't know. Push up, sideways, push up. It's hard to say, really. It doesn't really give me any more faith in going along at the moment, because it really could go either bloody way. The fact that we've pushed up, we've had 2 legs down, and we're trying to push up again, but we had that problem early, and then it just tanked, didn't it? So you've just got to be so careful, focusing too much on one direction. We've had 2 legs, and it's looking to me like it's going up, but I've done that before, focusing too much, and sometimes you're missing something, and down it comes. Yeah, it still just doesn't look quite right, that. Yes, do you know what, mate? It doesn't bother me so much anymore. I used to try and figure out what was going on, but sometimes it's just confusing. And I think it's okay to say, I don't know what the hell's going on now. I mean, we've all heard Mac say, you just can't trade this stuff. Well, what he's saying is, it's almost impossible to read. You know, we've all heard him say, it's the skilled trader. You know, it's the inexperienced trader that gets chopped up in this sort of stuff. And the secret is if Mac's been trading 27, 28 years, if he doesn't trade this because he doesn't know what the hell's going on, what are the likes of us got? So you just got to stay out of it and just let it go by until it starts to be a bit clearer. I mean, I can see we've had 2 legs down. This looks like it's bottoming, which is telling me it's likely it's going to go higher. But this picture's even more confusing. I like to have 2 sort of corresponding pictures which at least point me in the same direction. I just don't know what this is even on about. Strong push up. It just could come tumbling down again. No setup at the moment. I also try and think about where's the shorts here? Is there any shorts here? I can't see anywhere where I'd want to go short, put it that way. I've been looking for a higher low here. What time is it? Another 30 minutes. A tough week, yeah. It has been an hard week, actually. What am I up? 3. I'm only at about 4 points this week. I'm up about $400, well, minus $40 today. I had a better week last week. Week before was okay, so I'm still up on where I like to be for the week. I like to try and hit the $2,000 or close to that in a month. I started on the 9th, so I've still got another week and a half or so at least. Today I will wait at the end of hours because I see where the market. Nothing on the first hour. Probably going to be clear. Yeah. Just hate it when it moves slow again. It did that earlier, slowly grinded and then dropped. Yeah, I do. I always have a look and figure out what's going on or what happened. Sometimes the afternoon's actually better to trade, isn't it? So, see, the thing is, if you go long again, same again, there's some support along there. So it's back to that thing I say, look left. So 1, 2, 3, maybe a triple test, and then we're going to drop. Who knows? 1, 2, 3, triple test. very easy to get focused on a particular direction, and you're looking for anything that looks remotely like a setup. Okay, let's just see if we can tidy this up a bit. Not even convinced that is a range. No, I don't think it is. Okay, so it's starting to look slightly positive for moving on up. Obviously, we got targets we need to get above here, so there's a failure there which is triggered. Let's see what happens there. Sorry about the printer noises in the background. I think that's my daughter printing stuff. I think. Yeah, this does to me look like we're actually going to rock it up at some point. It looks like a leg, 2 legs of correction. If we can get a second entry long off here, I do have a feeling now with a push up, and eventually we had a leg up, 2 legs back and a push up. It's just very slow, that's all. Same sort of thing. We had a push up, 1, 2 legs back and we're up. Push up, 1, 2 legs back. 2 really nice legs of correction, really clear. And now a push up. Once we can get above here, then I think we'll move a bit quicker. It's just slowly working up. I think we've had our flush down and it's still encouraged buyers to get in. So I think the buyers are going to, it does to me look like we're going to continue on up, but it's just finding a strong enough entry. Unfortunately, that isn't it. So for me, I think there's a good chance we're going to push on up. What I will say is that line, Friday afternoon march up, yeah, sometimes we do get a rally on a Friday. I usually hear it after, obviously, I've finished for the day, because usually I only do about 3 hours. Sometimes you miss good trade in the afternoon, but I don't know how long you guys, I don't know whether I was watching the Alpine guy yesterday, and I know sometimes he'll trade for a bit, and then he'll just let his stream run, and he'll nip off and have an hour break, or go and have lunch or breakfast or whatever he does, and he comes back. So I just tend to usually cap it at around about the 3 hours. I find that's enough, but what I tend to forget is if I finish at 5:30 UK time, it's only really half midday, so it's 12:30 Eastern time, which really is only halfway through the day. So there's potentially some trading missed. But obviously it depends. If I can get a trade in, I'm quite happy to finish up for the day. One's enough for me. If I can get one up, I'm more than happy with that. I've done what I need to do. This does look like we're pushing up. We've pushed up. It's grinding up. We need to get above here. But then we need a pullback. Because I can't see it going up in that tight of thing. Same here. So we need 2 legs back, really. Just see if there's any type of a channel there now. I'd still rather a couple of legs back for another push up. Just going to leave that off for now. It doesn't feel right at the minute. We're going to find a little bit of resistance up here because we've been up here before, and then we dropped. It's wicky as hell, this, so I've got to stay out of this, but just keep an eye on it. If we can get back down to here, test this with something nice and bullish, then I'll be interested in going along there, and we'll get our trade in and out, and we'll get done. It's quite a thin channel, that, so I'd expect a break of that if it breaks these highs. Okay, we've broken the high of the day, so I expect a pullback now. So 2 legs of correction, break the high of the day, 2 legs of pullback, and then off on our merry way upwards again. We're still coming up to that all-time high, see, so it could just it could come tumbling down. I wouldn't absolutely be shocked in the slightest if this came tumbling down. I had my suspicions. Is it going to continue or will it hold? Did it there, didn't it? We got up so far and then it tanked. We got up so far. Well, tank's a strong word, but it came down about 2, 4, 6, 7 points, 7 or 8 points. That's the trouble, getting in here thinking we're going up and all of a sudden, woof, same again. Okay, excuse me, just for a minute. Okay. I mean, we've pushed up there. We've made 2 attempts to go higher. It could really just come down. We've tried multiple times to get up, and it just hasn't worked. If we come test the underside, I may even think about going short. We'll see. It's bouncing off that all-time highs again, so we'll see. Let's see what happens. There is the possibility of maybe just from there. Maybe we're doing something like 2 legs back, push up, retest, working up again. It's possible. What's going on here? There we go. Same problem here before. Pushed up, landed on there, pushed up and then dropped. It's just dangerous going along there into these highs. We had the same problem there. Went up there to these highs and then woof, down we came. I mean, there's going to be some shorts below there, trying to pick the tops of the day, I dare say. So I would really want a couple of legs back to think about going higher. Buying up there is just pure lunacy, I think. We're just so far from the EMA. There's going to be some stops up there. So for me, we're going to have to come down, leg up, 2 attempts low. If we come down here and look bullish, then I'd say we've got a good chance of at least making another effort. I hate it when it's slow like this. Such a lot of support up here. We usually do have a rally, don't we, after lunch on a Friday. I mean, it certainly looks like we might, but we keep hitting this resistance up here. It is strong, all-time highs. It really could do anything, couldn't it? We could come back in an hour and it may be down here somewhere, or it could be up here. It's so hard to say. I mean, it's certainly meeting a massive amount of resistance, but it's still going up for another go. Otherwise, if it does break above this, it could snap back. We haven't come back to the EM8 yet. I like to come back here and get another run up. See, some may sell that. I just don't have much luck. Bearish bar came down, bearish bar came down. But I'm just crap at this. I'm not comfortable with it. Okay. So, leg up, one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, fairly a push up. So let's see if we can get a push from this, not come back too low. So leg up, two attempts lower, up we go. Let's see if we not come down as low as this. Higher, 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 higher. Times. Let me get power. Yeah, it's just hard to know what's going to happen, isn't it? You can tell there's some shorts up here for sure, can't you? If we can get above there, there's going to be shorts, isn't there? All picking all-time highs, trying to sell all-time highs. We've had two legs back. We're making efforts to go. So if we can get above them and take out them short stops, then I think there's a good chance of having a good rally, isn't there? But you just don't know. Every time we get up here, it just turns, which might have been a good reason they're short there, actually. It looks, it's almost like a hidden second entry short, but to be honest with you, I just hate picking tops. Now, I will say they're probably the best looking range tops I've seen. It doesn't often do this, close more or less the same place every time, with the exception of this, but that was the channel. But You know, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a bunch of reasons to go short up there, but I just don't have a lot of luck with it. I tend to watch him and monitor him, but I just don't seem to, you know, I don't know. Take profits, so yeah. See, I kind of like the fact that we've had this leg up and we've had 2 attempts to go low. As long as we don't go too far, then we could still push back up. In fact, this is actually looking a bit clearer now. It's been a bit horrible before. That is looking like a much better range. See, trouble is you've got to be so careful going along there because we're not come to the bottom. We didn't there and pushed up, but you just don't know. It's just too dangerous going along right in the middle of it because it could come up and clip this and then drop. I'm really starting to have doubts about this. We have made new highs. There's some definitely strong sellers in there, and they're really holding on to this. And I'm assuming that's the line in the sand, so they'll only try so long before they give up. So we've had this 2-leg down. We've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher. Is this where the thing, you know, comes currying down? Which may have been another reason to go short there, but well. We've tried a lot of times to get up. We've had this channel, we've had a break, new high, little channel, 2 legs back in. We've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher. It could just come crashing down. Price is hardly moving, is it? I do have the feeling the bottom's going to drop out of this. Could do, mate, yeah. 23 and 33, is that? We got these 2 legs. We haven't broke below here. If we do, maybe game over. Same here there. There's some higher low there and a good strong push of this, some buyers there. This does look like it's gonna just drop. This is it, I think. This may be it. Get below there. We are below there. We tried so many times to go to push higher. I don't know. What would be nice to do is have 2 legs up to the EMA and then down. This does look like it's going to drop. It's doing that where it starts to flicker. Yeah, I had my suspicions. 2 legs back, 1, 2, 3 attempts to go, and that's just it. Okay, so maybe 2 legs back up, retest the bottom, and then maybe, I don't know, down towards here. God knows. There's quite likely going to be some longs trapped there, but I'm not taking that. Way too far from the EMA. It's just risky. Might work, probably will work, but there's certainly risk involved in taking that. I'm not sitting here for 3 hours just to lose me patience. I'll take that bar. 2 legs up I'd like to see. Now push up. 2 legs. Come on. Come down, EMA. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Some days it's just the way it goes. You sit here and you're tired and you're stressed and there's just nothing really. I'm still surprised that one didn't work, but at the end of the day, we got back in. Okay, so there probably was some longs there. Thinking fade this, but I don't know. Can't take that in my opinion. It's too far from this, too far from the EMA. It might work, but it could absolutely go against you. It's just too risky. As much as it looks like that's what it's going to do. See this all of a sudden now this daily is not looking so rosy, is it? I really do think we've had a push up, new high. It could really come tumbling down. I'd be interested to have a look later. I wouldn't be surprised if it'd come down another 40 points. What I'd like is a break. a couple of legs up, and then maybe down. But this is looking really bearish at the moment. We've got to have a pullback though. Let's have a look what we got here. There is some support around here, along there. So it would be nice to have a break around about there, I would say. In fact, isn't it the midline? No, it's the open. Around about the open. Right the way there. Where's my bar? I would like to see a break around there. You can see it right the way along there, so let's see if we end up getting a break. No patience here. Let's just hope it lasts. I think at some point you've just got to resign to the fact that, you know, as much as we do, I think the longer you've been doing it, I think you realise you've either got to be patient or you just lose. And I think the amount of times I've lost in the past, I think sooner or later, you know, that stubborn brain just decides to give up trying. Because you're never going to beat the markets, are you? You're never going to fight the markets. I mean, you could be the best trader in the world. Doesn't mean the market's going to give you any easier options, does it? But I appreciate your comment, mate. Or compliment, shall we say. But it might just be one of those days. I was hoping, because there's some congestion along here, we may get a bit of a pullback up towards, you know, maybe the midline, but that's looking pretty bearish. It tried so many times to break and it just didn't happen, did it? And look what's happening now. So it could end up like this. We finished relatively bullish yesterday. We crossed out. In fact, we got down a little bit. Yeah, we pushed up, made a new high, and it does look like that we could get a big drop. But I was hoping we would get a break before we get to these lows. That's quite a tight bar, that. I wouldn't expect that to go much further without having a break. Taking a trade. I just missed one. I didn't feel. Yeah, I'm still surprised that one lost. I really am. But then we had that second entry long, which triggered. And that for me was coming down. I had to be patient. Yeah. Patience, I think, is one of your biggest allies, really, isn't it? You learn. I mean, there was a time where I could not sit there for 5 minutes without taking a trade. I was itching to take a trade, you know, but a lot of it is just that rush and those, you know, unable to control the emotions, and you're up and you're down and you know, you're all over the place emotionally. But after a while, you can only have those emotions affecting you the same way for a certain amount of time. You can't do the same thing day in, day out without it changing. You just can't. Yeah, it is. Yeah, patience, absolutely. It's a massive part of trading, isn't it? Patience. It's very easy to sit there, and you know what? Thinking about going back maybe 12 months, sometimes I'd sit there for 3 hours, and I'd be coming up to my finishing time, and my patience would go, and I'd end up. You know, I suppose a lot of my losing days back then were probably in the last 15 minutes of the day, because, you know, you get more patience. But do you know what? In a way, when I've sat here for 3 hours and I haven't taken a trade, I get more of a kick out of the fact that I've held my nerve, you know, because it is difficult, the patience side. But I if I go downstairs and I say I blank for the day, I haven't eaten anything, my wife says, well done, because she knows. You know, so many times I'd get to that point in the day where I'd lose my patience and I'd end up taking a stupid trade. And, you know, it's even more frustrating to sit there for 3 hours and then you take a damn stupid trade because your patience goes. So, you know, I'm quite happy about going on. I mean, we're $25 down minus fees, but that's neither in nor there, really, is it? It's just a tick. But I'm quite happy. I'm more than happy to do that. It doesn't affect me in the slightest. So we've got a break here. Now I never take these way too far from the EMA as as good as it may just absolutely drop, it's just too risky. Be pushed down like that. I want a couple of legs back here. But so many times now we'll get a small break and it'll just drop. But I'm hoping we do get a push up. But as we've come off close to the bottoms, I will probably wait for a lower high. We'll see. I mean, if that bar in the second entry looks bearish enough and it's sat right tight under there, I'll usually take those. I don't mind taking those, but if it's not the greatest of bars, I just wait for the lower high. And if you get a lower high, I don't know, 19 times out of 20, that'll work, at least. So we've had a first entry. We need to get a bit higher. I'm not sure whether we're going to... See, Mac told me in an email once, don't look for a reason to take a trade, look for a reason to not take it. Why shouldn't I take this? What's wrong about it? It's too far from the EMA. Okay, straight away. First answer, I don't even have to think about any other answers. Way too far from the EMA. But it is near damn impossible. I was watching Sam's trades, was it yesterday? And I could just... sometimes it's easy to sit back and watch someone else trades and be able to see what they're doing wrong and pick holes in it. But he was trading on raw emotion and frustration yesterday. And I felt sorry for him when he was doing it because I know exactly what it's feeling. That raw emotion just takes over and you can't control... By hitting that button, he sees it going up, he buys, triggers him, stops him out. He sees it going down, he sells, triggers him, stops him out. And I felt sorry for him because I know exactly what it feels like. It's horrible. Sam, 5 trader, lovely guy. He's one of our friends. And he's been trading for, I think, about 3 years. And he's just having a rough time of it. He's just going through that stage where he's up and he's down, he's all over and he's frustrated, so he's just taking a break. But it is horrible to see that. Can you write down the name? Fife Trader is called, F-I-F-E. He has stopped streaming for a while. I think he was on about summer, but F-I-F-E. Yeah, I'll find him. I'll find his YouTube channel. He's a lovely guy, but he's just going through that thing we all go through. Where is it? There he is. That's him there, Sam. But he was just getting battered yesterday, and it's sad to see because it's happened to us all. It's happened to us all. Let me just I'll fill the sound a bit, but it's happened to us all. We've all done it. But yeah, I mean, this was from yesterday. I think he done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, 2 winners, 3 losers. But you can see it goes up, he jumps in, it comes down, and it's a shame, really. I was watching him doing this, and I knew exactly what he was going through. And it is that raw emotion. It's pure frustration and emotion, and it feels like it cripples you. But there's no sort of way around it. You have to just go through that and try and deal with it. I'm thinking I'm taking 1 trade a day only from now, so I'm going to start teaching myself this. It's good practice, I think, because it does help you control your own decisions. So if you say you're going to do something, it does, help you. Because I've done a bit of research about this, because I haven't got the best willpower, but apparently you can practice willpower. It's almost like a muscle that will get better with practice. I didn't think it could. I thought you were either strong-willed or sort of, not so strong. But apparently you can, if you practice it. I'm assuming if you practice and it works, it gets the serotonin going, doesn't it? Those feel-good emotions. And I think, it helps to... I like the way this feels. When you do something you stick to, it makes you feel good. And I think, you get a kick out of the way it makes you feel. So cold plunges. We chat about this the other day. Me and cold water don't go very well. The only cold water I like is when I have a little bit of ice in my drink. But I'm not a cold will person. But they do say it's very good for you. I watched a documentary about that. What do they call him? The Iceman or something? What's he called? Something like that. The Iceman. He can spend like 40 minutes submerged up to his neck. Yeah, he controls his heart and amazing. Okay, second entry short there. I still think that's, but it is very close. It is a lower high. Trouble is, we're close to the lows. Oh, bollocks, what's going on here? I can't take it in all good conscience because there's no space. That's him, yeah. Wilm Hoff, yeah. He's fascinating to watch. I don't know how he does it. Those ice baths, yeah, not me. I'm not very good with cold water. I remember once I went to a party and they had loads of beers in ice and water. I found it hard just to stick my bloody arm in to grab a beer. I had to get someone to do it for me. So I don't know, I'll be good plunging myself in. Yeah, you just can't take that one. It's just too close to the lows. We bounce 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's asking for trouble. It may come curving down, but we're going into the lows for a start. No, we've got to get right up here, really, before I think about going short. It's going to be one of those days, and they are frustrating sometimes. You just doesn't quite work. Does this look like it's going to drop, though? We're below here now, and it's not pushing down fast. So I think it's dangerous to take that. It's 11 ticks, tick above, tick below. It's over 3. It's about $325 risk there. Too much for my blood, that is. We're below here, and we still haven't come pushing down, so it's not for me. I mean, it's tempting seeing that. It really is, but it's just too dangerous, I think. I like the way it's a lower high, but there's no room. First thing Max says, make sure you got enough room to the lows. So if you're getting there, you're not even going to get a tick. Well, it's coming up. We've got another 9 minutes. Oh, yeah, it's just not worth carrying on, I don't think. It's tempting. I get the temptation for it, but look at this. You just can't do it. There's barely a tick there. It could trigger you, bounce off here a bunch of times, push back up to the EMA, stop you out, and then end up rocketing down. It's good practice, Speedy, definitely. Really works well on self-control. I've not done it myself. Having said that, a lot of times I end up only taking one trade anyway, so let's see if we end up maybe having a leg and a leg. So if we can get a retest of this, we still may get an option. Yeah, let's have a look. So I think we're safe to say that's definitely 100% a leg down. And this is likely going to be another one which is going to take us down to these lows. So I think the chance of us getting down to these lows are pretty high. We just need a decent enough signal bar to send us on our way. We're well below these now to worry about failed breakouts and that. So, you think this is down here somewhere? Yeah. If we can get a couple of legs up and something here, we're quite away from the EMA, you see, so we may get a chance. Yeah, it'd be nice to get a trade. But it's going to have to be a decent one. See, the trouble is you see that work and then you jump in next time and then it ticks you and stops you out. But it's just not safe to go into there. Mac wouldn't pick that, no way. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just, it doesn't mean it's not going to work, but it's just so risky. Come on, tick below and get up. You know, if I sit patiently and I take a trade and it loses, I can deal with that. It doesn't bother me so much. It's when I take a trade I know I really shouldn't have done, that's when I have that difficulty. And those emotions seem to take over. So the simple answer is wait till you see a setup and then take it. If it doesn't work, then you've learned something. See if we can get a really decent entry. You know, there's scope there then to get quite a few points out of it. Come on, get up a bit. Don't come down yet. You're miles from the EMA. Go and have a crack at it. Let's see what's going on here. Come on. Okay, I like the way it's going a bit sideways. That's a good indicator. We may get a push up. Wife's just sent me a message. Everything okay up there? She knows me well. Okay, one leg up, two legs up. Let's see if we can get a second entry short. There's certainly some distance we can come down. So we've got a leg, break, new low, two legs up. So leg. I'd like to push above this a bit because I want to trigger this. I think we may do. I expect this to go up a bit more. There we go. I'm just going to sit tight at the moment. That could go up higher, so I'm going to wait for a lower high. I would much prefer that closer to the EMA. So I'm going to wait for the lower high. Technically, see, there's the low there, so it's only a first entry that. It's not a second entry short. That's broken lower. Might work. Probably will. But this could go higher. So I'm just staying out of this at the moment. So technically it is only a first entry. That's quite a strong bar off there, so that could trigger and push up and have another leg up. It might not, but it's just that to me is a weak short, so I'm staying out of it. I would much prefer that, the body much closer to there. I wonder. Was any type of spike and channel there? Not sure about that. One leg, let's have another leg, come on. This is looking positive. Let's break above this, come on. Come on, break above it. One tick. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We've got a second entry short there, stroke lower high. I really want this to tick above this and touch that bottom line if we can. Go on, push up, go on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. One tick. Come on, somebody buy something. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Now let's see if we get a second entry. He's doing it again. Why does that let me do that? There we go. God, this is so tempting.
Order submitted.
There's a long that's trapped there, so I'm tempted to put that there. Oh, you bastard.
Order filled. Order cancelled.
Okay. Let's see if I've not shafted myself here. Lovely lower high there. There's a trap long there. This is a riskier trade. We clearly had two legs up. Come on, baby. Come on down. If we get below here, this should drop. I like the way we tested that. I'm going to have to put it above there. It's more than I wanted to risk, but I think it's the safest place. Two legs up, nice big bearish bar. 1, 2, 3. Touched it a bunch of times off here. If it goes, I think it'll go. I'm just going to give that one extra tick, see if it saves me neck. There's that one extra tick, see if it works. We may get lucky. Sometimes it does. I haven't got it. And one leg, two legs. Let's see what happens here. That extra tick sometimes just works in your favour. We'll see. 1, 2. There's like a triple test there. I'm in. I'm committed. Some you win, some you lose. You've just got to do it. There's nothing else you can do. Sometimes that's the type of trade that saves you that extra tick. Whether it will or not, I don't know. Triple test. Let's see. Come on, baby. Come on down. That might trap those shorts there. So, I think I'm buggered here. I have a feeling this is going to go up and take them out. And if it does, it's going to get me as well. You took a long... Oh, don't tell me that, mate. It's a triple test, that is. 1, 2, 3. Bearish bar. Could do anything here, to be fair. One leg down. I think it's more likely to go long. Oh, you didn't see me enter? I'm still not so sure. Come on, triple test. Come on, you've gone up, you've gone down. Come on down. There's definitely a triple test there. 1, 2, 3. So this looks positive, but you just don't know, do you? That extra tick can save your neck sometimes. Could do anything, really. Could do absolutely anything. I'm in the lap of the gods now. What I'll say is we got 2 legs up. Triple test, 2 legs. It could do anything. I have a feeling this is going to get me. I was tempted just to get out there for a bit of a loss. Possibly a second entry short there, triple test. I was tempted to get out for a bit of a loss, but I don't know. This is going up, isn't it, I think? Yeah, I'm out.
Stop filled.
Oh, well, okay. It is what it is. Not a good day today, but it had to happen. I'm down. What am I down? 425. Ooh, that's my worst day. That's a shame, actually. I mean, it was a riskier trade, but we had this 2 legs up. I like the way it was holding. But what can you do? What can you do? It is what it is. So, where did I go there? It was about there, wasn't it, somewhere? I can't remember where I got in. That bearish bar there. So, it was a 4-point loss. No. 4-point loss. So, leg and a leg. We had a nice bearish bar there. I thought there's longs trap there, but it's one of those things, isn't it? I thought after that we'd come down to the bottoms and it looked like we're having multiple tests. But it is what it is. So 2 losses and a win. So that was a 4-point loss. So now this is the test now. This is the test to walk away. So let's call, it doesn't really matter anyway. So let's say -4 points. So let's put my lights on. -4 points. Okay. So, right, let's well, yeah, we had that, and it looked like it was a bigger thing. We had that sort of push-up bearish bar, which sort of came down, and then we had another big bearish bar, which triggered. It was a riskier trade, but I just, after this, so much push-up, quite often, yeah, quite often when it tries this, it tanks, doesn't it? We had a big push down, push below, and it looked like it was testing the bottom here, didn't it? We had sort of 1, 2, there was a bunch of tests there, and then we had a big drop. So once we got below there, I thought we were off to the races. But it's one of those things, it just happens, isn't it? You close your charts already, yeah. I gave it an extra couple of ticks up here because sometimes it can save you, and it's saved me before, so an extra couple of ticks I don't mind. But it's one of those things, isn't it? So this looks like it may be going up. Who knows anyway, but I'm taking my photo and I'm done for the week. It had to happen. It had to happen that I have 2. So in 2 weeks now, that's the first time I'd had 2 losses in a day. Well, it's the first time of it. Don't apologise, mate. It's got to happen. But you've just got to deal with it. And if you walk away and deal with it, you'll be okay. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. So let me just take my photo. So I'm down a total of 4.25 points for the day. So let me take my photo. It's got to become a normal part of it. So I'm kind of okay with it. So where am I doing photo? It's going to happen. The only way you're ever going to make it as a trader is if you can accept losses. And it's not terrible. It is what it is. So 26 of the 1st, 24. So I'm going to do this shutdown for the weekend. And this is the yes. I knew the trade was a bit riskier, but I really believed we'd had 2 pushes up and we're respecting this line. I expected that to drop. This looked okay at the time as well. There was 2 legs up. But it's one of those things, isn't it? Not an easy day today. A pretty horrible day, actually, in all fairness. It could carry on up. It could come down. God knows. So I'm getting away from the chart now. I'm going to go down and have my dinner. Have a couple of whiskies. But it had to happen. It's just one of those days. Perhaps I should have just left it alone. No idea. Well, yeah, it's just a choppy day, and sometimes it just happens, doesn't it? But that first one I lost, I still can't figure out why exactly that went. But sometimes you have these days where market's just choppy and it does you in a bit. That's NQ, isn't it? So, yeah. Trouble is, it's doing the same as that. It gives you it almost says, come on, we're going down, and then it rockets up and does the other thing. Well, it was a trade at the lows of the day, but it wasn't. Where was it? It wasn't the lows of the day. Where was it? It was here. We had the break. That was it. It wasn't the lows of the days down here. That was the trade. I took that one there. The lower high. So we'd have this channel down there, which worked really nice, to be honest with you. We had a break of it and we had a lower high. Usually you go down. I mean, I'd at least expected that to get down to here, and it did. But not before it stopped me out for a tick or a couple of ticks and then did exactly what I thought. But I saw what was going on and took that other trade. But it's just one of those things. It's a choppy day and it does make things a bit more risky. But in all fairness, when we had that, we had a little bit of sideways. We had one leg up. We came back and another leg up and a nice big bearish bar. I thought for sure that was coming down. You know, after seeing this push up, I mean, it looks after we've hit all-time highs, we're just going to tank. And the trouble is, you can get to thinking that way, and it doesn't always work. But you know, we don't know whether this was a bigger channel. That could be right. 2 pushes up. You know what I mean? You don't know whether it's going to come down or rocket up. You got no idea. But to be fair, at the moment, it's just hit and miss. It could do absolutely anything. But that's fine. You at the end of the day, you've got to accept it, and I've got to accept it. You know, I've traded for 2 weeks. This is the first red day I've had. It's only the second loss I've had. Well, third loss if you count the 2, but I'm shutting down and getting away. I'm going to mark my chart up anyway. That's a thought. I need to save my what's-its, but it happens. And the trick is, see, the thing is, that's right, can't I? I can build an account. I've got enough skills to be able to make money. The bits I've struggled with is having the skills to accept the losses, and it's the sort of final. Yeah, you too, bud. It's the final sort of hurdle, isn't it? Being able to accept losses, but it's just one of those things. So I'm done for the day anyway. I've saved my chart, so I'm going to shut everything down. So have a great weekend, and I'll be back again on Monday. Bit of a funny week this week, but anyway, you have a great weekend. I appreciate your comments. Don't forget the 80% off finishes on Monday. 80% off, only 1 day minimum now needed to trade just for the time being, but so you've got the weekend and obviously Monday, but that finishes 4:59 Eastern time, not midnight on Monday. So my code's down there, as you know. If you use it or you have used it, it's appreciated. So have a great weekend, stay safe, and I will see you all back here for another week on Monday. Bye for now.